My name is Maya. I am 12 years old. I live in a small town in a quiet street with old trees, soft wind, and houses that look almost the same. My life used to feel simple, warm, and safe, at least before everything changed. I live with my dad and my stepmother now. People think our home must be peaceful, but most days it feels heavy, like the air forgets how to move. My mother passed away when I was 7. I still remember her gentle hands, her soft humming, and the way she tucked my hair behind my ear. After she left, my world felt like a broken window, letting cold wind in all the time. My dad tried to fill the empty spaces, but it was too big, too deep. When I was 9, he remarried. At first, I hoped things would get better. I hoped my new stepmother would smile at me, maybe hold my hand, maybe help me braid my hair. But life had other plans. From the first week, I felt her eyes on me. Not warm, not curious, just cold. She spoke to me only when she had to. She walked past me as if I was part of the furniture. And when she did talk, her voice was sharp, like she was trying to cut something out of the air. I used to tell myself, maybe she is tired, or maybe she just needs time. But days turned into months, and the distance only grew. She hated when Dad paid attention to me. She hated when I laughed. She hated when I walked into a room at the wrong moment. And slowly, without meaning to, I learned how to make myself small, quiet, invisible. My dad worked long hours, so he didn't see the tiny battles inside the house. The silent looks, the forced smiles, the doors closed just a little too fast. One afternoon, I heard her say to him, "She reminds me too much of her mother." Something in my chest broke that day. I went to my room and cried into my pillow. I cried until my throat hurt. I cried until my heart felt empty. I cried because I didn't know how to stop wanting her to like me. Some nights, even breathing felt heavy. I kept a diary under my pillow. I wrote everything I couldn't say out loud. I wish she would hug me. I wish I could ask her why. I wish I knew what I did wrong. I wish I didn't feel so alone. But the house stayed the same, day after day. One morning, something small happened, but it felt huge to me. I had spent the night crying, and my eyes were swollen. When I went to the kitchen, my stepmother looked at me. Really looked. Her face tightened, but she didn't ask what happened. She just said, "You're going to be late." I nodded and ate my toast quietly. My hands shook a little. She didn't notice, or maybe she did, but chose to ignore it. I never knew. At school, I felt safer. My teacher, Ms. Rivera, always spoke in a warm voice. She noticed when I looked sad, even if I pretended to be fine. One day, after class, she gently touched my shoulder. "Maya, can you stay a moment?" My heart started pounding. I thought I did something wrong, but she just said, "You've been quieter lately. Is everything okay at home?" Hearing those words, those soft, caring words, made my eyes burn. I looked down, gripping the straps of my backpack. "I'm fine," I whispered. But my voice shook, And Ms. Rivera didn't believe me. She pulled out a chair. "Sit for a moment." I sat. My legs felt weak. She didn't push me. She didn't ask 100 questions. She just sat nearby, patient, calm, giving me time to breathe. And slowly, something inside me opened. I told her everything. Not loudly, not clearly, but in small pieces. My stepmom, she doesn't like me. She gets angry easily. I try my best. I feel unwanted. When I finished, my hands were trembling. Ms. Rivera didn't rush to fix anything. She didn't say, "It's okay." Instead, she nodded softly and said, "That must be very painful, Maya. I'm proud of you for sharing it." Those words felt like a warm blanket around my heart. She told me something I never forgot. Sometimes, grown-ups carry their own wounds, and sometimes they don't know how to love properly. But their struggle does not change your worth. That day changed everything. Because for the first time, someone saw me. Someone understood. Someone reminded me that I mattered. I walked home slower that day, breathing deeper, holding those words close to my chest. But life still wasn't easy. My stepmother didn't magically become kind. She continued with her cold stares, her short answers, her quiet disapproval. But something inside me was different now. I wasn't as afraid. I wasn't as empty. I wasn't as alone. One evening, I was sitting at the dining table doing homework. She walked past me, then stopped. "You missed a spot on the counter," she said. Her voice was sharp, as usual. I looked up at her. My heart started racing. But I remembered Ms. Rivera's gentle voice. So instead of shrinking, I said calmly, "Okay, I'll clean it after I finish my homework." My stepmother stared at me, surprised. Maybe she expected me to jump up instantly or apologize like I always did. But I didn't. I stayed still. I stayed calm. And that moment felt like a tiny victory I never knew I needed. Over the next weeks, I kept writing in my diary, but my words changed. I am trying. I am strong. I deserve kindness. My feelings matter. Some nights I still cried. Some mornings I still felt small. But slowly, I learned to breathe through the pain. I learned to look at myself with softer eyes. I learned that even when someone else refuses to love you, you can still love yourself. One night, my dad found my diary on my bed. I must have fallen asleep while writing. He read a few lines, not all, but enough to understand something was wrong. He sat beside me and woke me gently. "Maya, why didn't you tell me?" My heart froze. I thought I was in trouble. I thought he would be angry. But he wasn't. His eyes were full of worry and guilt. "I should have seen it," he whispered. "I'm so sorry." I cried into his shirt, shaking, letting out emotions I had held for too long. He hugged me tighter than he had in years. The next morning, he talked to my stepmother. I heard raised voices, then silence. I didn't know what they said, but things changed after that. Not completely, not magically, but she tried, just a little. She said good morning more often. She stopped snapping over small things. She even asked about my school one evening, though awkwardly. It wasn't love, not yet. Maybe it would never be. It was something, a small step, a tiny crack in her cold wall. And that was enough for me, because now I knew who I was. I knew what I deserved. I knew that my worth didn't depend on someone else's broken heart. Today, when I look back, I don't feel as much pain. I feel proud. I feel hopeful. I feel stronger than I ever did. If someone out there feels unloved or unwanted, I want them to hear this. Even when others fail to show love, you can still grow. You can still shine. Your value does not disappear because someone refuses to see it. Kindness starts inside you. Strength grows in silence. And the smallest bit of love, even from one person, can change your whole world.